What's up everyone, Talon from the Airsoft headquarters here and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Ares Amoeba Striker ASO2 bolt action sniper and why it probably should be considered sooner rather than later as your new bolt action rifle system. So currently, if no one is really aware, with the airsoft manufacturing industry, with COVID over in Taiwan, manufacturing has slowed down pretty exponentially, quite honestly. So currently the ASO1 series, which is going to be the longer barrel variant of the Amoeba Strikers, the ASO1s, while there is an ETA for late March, there are going to be some ASO1s that we won't see until May, and they're not going to be in a very big number. So there's no guarantee that there are going to be enough of the ASO1s for everyone to be getting one or of the quantity that they want. So why should you consider looking at the ASO2 series, which is the shorter barrel model? Well, there's a couple of same features and there's quite a few new features with the ASO2 system here. Obviously, with general overview videos, we're going to be talking from the front to the back, starting with the federally mandated orange tip. It is quite large, it is quite noticeable, and underneath are going to be the 20 millimeter or 23 millimeter clockwise direction of threading, primarily for the proprietary Ares Amoeba Striker muzzle devices. There are currently 3 in production, I think a couple of privately manufactured ones as well. However, Amoeba also has been manufacturing the 23 to 14 counterclockwise thread adapter system. So you can put tracer units or whatever long length of suppressors you would want to fit on here. Directly off of the orange tip is going to be the 11-inch metal fluted barrel, which is going to be, again, 11 inches in total length. So this is a very short CQB base of airsoft rifle. But however, for the 400 FPS velocity, this probably is not going to be very well suited for indoor base of environments. However, for anyone that is going to be a little bit more close quarters, moving from shipping container to shipping container, this is going to allow you to sit in a little bit closer to buildings or obstacles without projecting a whole lot of extra gear or part of your body jutting out away from those obstacles, from your concealment or your cover. Directly underneath of that metal barrel system is going to be a nylon polymer of Handguard system. Now this is going to be a M-LOK base of slot system on the 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock position. There are 4 total slots on the left, bottom, and right side of the Handguard. There also is a Harris bipod mount for you to take a Harris mounted bipod and mount to the very bottom. However, with the more modern base of Picatinny or even M-LOK direct attachment of bipod systems, Harris bipod mount systems really aren't all that much of a thing anymore. It also does double as some of your body pins, so I wouldn't suggest taking it off either. So unfortunately, it does have to stay there. Now with the Ares Amoeba Striker systems, there is quite a lot of customization when it comes to how you want the overall body system designed. There is a different type of handguard system available. There is also a more slimline, lightweight metal Picatinny and M-LOK combination kit that I would need to pull from Brady's collection, since he has one on there as well. Give me just a sec. So this here is Brady's ASO1 that he has decked out, even with the option of HPA. So the ASO1, he has modified this one to be a shorter barrel system and also features that M-LOK metal handguard system that would be available to attach to the ASO1 or the ASO2s. Also utilizing that barrel adapter like I had spoken about previously for a nice long lightweight suppressor. Also did the Wolverine HPA conversion. So that is also an option for anyone that wants to possibly convert these from AEG to HPA. That is 100% an option. So lots and lots and lots of customization when it comes to the handguard system. But don't worry, we have quite a bit of other body to cover that you can possibly customize as well. The very top part of the receiver here is going to be all metal as well as the fact that it is going to be a TDC, or a top dead center style of hop-up unit. This allows for a little bit more consistency as well as durability when it comes to fine-tuning your hop-up unit. For all of the older school style of hop-up slider systems, over time, those can wear down. They could get accidentally bumped while you're running through the field or in transport, and overall, just not really that good of a system. However, it has been an old faithful style of system, and so is still currently utilized with airsoft bolt action rifles. The TDC, regardless of what system it is on, it is even popular on gas blowback pistols or even half blowback pistols. The TDC mod, or the TDC hop-up unit, is going to be the better option. Full disclosure, definitely better. On the body, it is going to, or the receiver is going to reside inside of a nylon polymer of a stock system. And again, if you kind of look at it, if you are familiar with the firearms community at all, it is very, very, very similar to that of a Magpul style of furniture. Very similar. One could say very, very heavily influenced by Magpul. You have the option of a drop-free 60 round magazine, 55, 60 rounds about. These are going to be the shorter style of magazines. There are going to be slightly extended, which are going to be the 60 rounders as well. So they only look a little bit longer. So really it's all for aesthetic. On the Amoeba Striker systems, you have the option of going either with a thumb tab and pull and release, or you have the option of doing an HK style of trigger guard release system for your magazine releases. All of the magazines are going to be a mid-cap style of magazine, so you do have to get a speed loader in order to load those in. On the ASO2 specifically, there is going to be a dual trigger or a double trigger style, which means that trigger is going to move just a little bit before you can engage it in order to release the shot. So what that looks like is when you go here and you have just the top part of the trigger, which, you know, coincidentally is covered up, or there is not a whole lot of the upper trigger. So you are primarily pulling the lower part of the trigger. So if you try to pull at the very top of the trigger, nothing's gonna happen. You have to get your full finger on the bottom part of the trigger, pull until it fires. So, not sure why they went with a dual or double stage trigger, but they did. Kind of unique, certainly unique, but not there for any type of special reason. The rest of the stock system is going to have some unique features as well. The grip on the very bottom part here does have some finger grooves on there, which means for anyone that has average size of grips, I think my grip is going to be a little bit smaller as far as an adult male, but my two rear fingers, or the far right fingers, these two fit inside of the groove very, very nicely. My middle finger is going to sit inside of that groove just behind that trigger guard, and the groove does fit comfortably. My trigger sits inside of that trigger guard, and my thumb wraps around that short body part of the stock there and holds on tight. With the ASO1, this grip here was flat, so very unique and cool that they went with some grooved systems. This is removable as well. There's a small little tab that you can press in and pull, change out if you want, but there's also your body screws inside of there. So you have your takedown screw on the inside, and you also have your hop-up adjustment screw inside of there, which means you have your tools with you while you're on the field, which means you can make those micro adjustments to the hop-up unit as you play. And there's going to be some pros and cons to that as well, but I digress. The rest of the stock here, the cheek riser, it does have a built-in system. There is a different stock here that is going to be a little bit more skeletonized, a little bit more tactical as far as a stock base of system. Brady does not have it, so I can't show you exactly what that looks like. On the Sling System here, the sling mount is going to be on the back side here, the back right. As far as I am aware, this is ambidextrous on the ASO2 system, which means you can flip it over to the left side of the stock, so you can change that around if you really want to. Also, a couple of people don't really realize what this is for, which the very back plate of this is going to be a hard plastic compared to the very, very soft rubber of the ASO1. So I'm gonna put that there. This is going to be a wire stock, which is designed to, hold into your shoulder and keep the stock from moving down on you at all, which it's a CQB base of bolt action rifle. No one really needs a wire stock like that in order to hold them, especially if you're going to be firing. You're going to be a little bit tighter. I mean, for me to fire a bolt action rifle, the wire stock sits higher than my shoulder, and thus having that wire stock on there is really, really pointless. So that is not a successful firing position. But for some people, it might be, especially if they're going to utilize this in a CQB-based environment, like its current length is designed to do. Now, with the stock plate of the ASO1, that is a very, very, very soft rubber. I mean, it is really soft. I probably shouldn't be grabbing it that much, honestly, with how soft it is. We're gonna talk about the bolt. So on the bolt handle, it is going to be a ball joint system, which means it's shaped like a ball, versus the ASO1, which is going to be a little bit more traditional of a arm, I guess. It kind of is a ball, but it's a little bit smaller. I guess a traditional handle for a bolt action of rifle, versus the ASO2s, which have almost a annoyingly large bolt on there. But again, being a CQB based environment, it does make it very easy to grab onto and throw back in order to get that bolt to cycle. For anyone that maybe has not noticed, with the ASO2s and the ASO1s, these are utilizing AEG length of springs, which means, yeah, you do have an open chamber design. Ooh, means you can stick your finger in there, you can do a chamber check, that cool guy, whoosha, or whatever you want to do as far as engaging that open chamber design. But like I said, has AEG base of springs, so you can quick change either the entire interior bolt or that interior spring for indoor or outdoor base of velocity. And quickly changing those springs, you don't have to worry about your inner system overcycling, because it is all based on the quick movement of you as the shooter, which means you can't overshoot anyone or anything. Working and functioning safe and fire modes. On safe, it's not going to shoot. On fire, obviously it's going to fire. What is unique is that there's also a shot indicator system on the left side of the body, left side of the receiver. The ASO1s also had a shot indicator system, which means there's not a BB in the chamber, but your bolt is engaged backwards. On the ASO2s, it's a little bit more distinguished. What that looks like is, as you pull back, that round indicator, or that shot indicator, is going to pop out, and as you pull in and pull that bolt down, that shot indicator is going to stay out. You can press it however much you want. It's not going to go back in until you actually fire a shot, and then that shot indicator is going to shoot back into the receiver. When it comes to spring-powered system, especially with those higher tension of springs, if you do keep it locked and cocked for too long, that spring tension is going to loosen up from being confined, and you're going to lose overall velocity. So it is going to be more beneficial in the long haul to identify and acknowledge that your spring is under pressure, and then as much as you can, relieve it for as long as possible. And again, it's a quick change system, which means you are going to take one of your takedown pins, push out this pin, your shot indicator system is going to pull away from the receiver, and then you're going to pull your entire bolt out. I unfortunately don't want to show you this because it does take a little bit more time as well as finesse to get that bolt back in. And unfortunately, I'm not very good at it as of right now. With my current experience level with this, I do need a flathead screwdriver in order to press down on some of the piston sears, piston something, I'm drawing a blank right now. But yeah, there's a little arm that you need to press down in order to get the entire bolt to go in and cycle shut. So that is just a forewarning. You do need some tools in order to reassemble it on the field. But overall, a very unique system. Amoeba Strikers also, or Ares Amoeba, plan on making a gas, CO2, and I think they're coming out with their own HPA system, I think. Wolverine is making a bolt for the Ares Strikers, and I think a Tokyo Marui spec of Striker. I need to double check that. A lot of people making a lot of things or promising to make a lot of things. So that currently is what we have as far as the ASO2 systems. You can customize them with longer length of inner barrels. They do take standard AEG inner barrels, and I think a gas blowback bucking, maybe something like that. Overall, the internal parts, as far as one of the Type 4 inner barrel or even changing that spring, very easy to get a hold of. Not a special part that you need to put heavy research into or need to do any type of special stuff in order to get parts from overseas or anything like that. Just working on Tokyo Maruis or even the Well VSRs tend to be a nightmare, especially with how many third-party manufacturers there are. With the Ares Amoebas being one single manufacturer and very, very, very little third-party manufacturing, very easy to find parts that are going to be compatible and will work inside of the Ares Amoeba Strikers ASO1s and ASO2s. So overall, really, really great build. With the ASO2s, based on what I see from other retailers as well as based on what we have here, we do have quite a few of the ASO2s, and I think we can get the ASO2s sooner than the ASO1s. But like I said, ASO1s are going to be coming either later in March or not until May. And we don't have an ETA or an estimate as to how many they're going to be. But based on current airsoft manufacturing, we probably will not get a whole lot, just so you guys know. Like I was saying before, there could be an issue if you did want to utilize some more focus based of zoom base of optic, because you'll notice with that hop-up unit, it is sitting right underneath of your optic. So trying to make those micro adjustments onto the field can be a little bit of a hindrance based on the type of optic you plan on getting. There were a couple of things on the rifle system that didn't quite make sense, was a little bit unique and new, but overall didn't take away from the overall usage of the Amoeba Striker ASO2. Overall, a really solid base of CQB sniper at 100 feet. Pretty good results, not gonna lie. However, past 100 feet, especially with bolt action rifles that are going to be with outdoor fields, being able to be cranked up to 500 feet per second, trying to range out past 100 feet, you may find it to be a little bit of an issue, especially since the flight or the direction of the BB is primarily based on the amount of stabilization coming from that inner barrel, which means the more length that you have, the more straight the trajectory of that BB is going to be as it leaves that inner barrel. The less amount of track that BB has to stay within is not going to allow for a whole lot of consistency out at super great distances. And again, this kind of getting to the more physics-based of stuff, utilizing an AEG base of cylinder system does not allow for a whole lot of air volume to sit behind a heavy weight of BB in order to get it out to speed. And if memory serves me correctly, I was using a 0.28 for the accuracy test. When it comes to super heavy weights like a 0.36 or 0.40, you may find with the shorter systems here, there's not enough inner barrel length to allow for those heavier weight of BBs to catch up to the speed that is expected. So keep that in mind before you purchase this or while you do your research. Other than that, it's a super solid base of system. With the short pull, again, with those AEG internal systems, very short pull. Very easy to pull back and manage, especially laying down in a prone position, going up, pull back, slide forward and down. A little bit of sniper role play for you there. Because for Airsoft, it's really overhyped in my personal opinion. So the ASO2, I think, would do a very, very good job to really get an Airsoft player to have the most amount of fun, to be able to move in the most amount of dynamic environments that are available in Wisconsin or even in surrounding states or really wherever you guys are playing, compared to the longer base of bolt action rifle systems. So I think it's the best package for what it can do. And that currently is the end of my video. So if you guys have any further questions, put them down in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. And with that, we're done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.